Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss solution of some of the board questions which are based on IUPAC nomenclature. But before dealing with the question part, you must go through the chart of 4 parts of IUPAC nomenclature as it will help you in solving the nomenclature questions. And just keep one thing in mind that IUPAC nomenclature is written in continuation without leaving any gaps, except in case of carboxylic acid where there is a small gap between oic and acid part. There are 4 parts of a name according to IUPAC nomenclature. First part is prefix, second part is word root, third part is primary suffix, and fourth one is secondary suffix. Prefix part includes substituent group. It includes groups like halogen, alkyl group, and nitro group. In halogen, F stands for fluoro, Cl for chloro, Br for bromo, I for iodo. Alkyl groups are those carbon groups which are not included in the main chain. If this group contains one carbon atom, it will be called as methyl. 2 carbon atoms, ethyl. 3 carbon atoms, propyl, etc. And our nitro group is NO2 group. Second part is word root, which is according to the number of carbon atom in the main chain. Then next part is primary suffix, which is according to number of bond between the carbon-carbon atom. Fourth part is secondary suffix, which is functional group part. And according to different functional group, different suffixes are placed in the name. So these are the board questions that we are going to discuss in this video. So our first compound is CH3CHO. Following the rules of IUPAC nomenclature, first of all we are going to select the longest continuous carbon chain. In this case, the carbon chain is of 2 carbon atoms. So after selection of this main chain having 2 carbon atoms, we are going to number this chain. Since in this case functional group CHO is present, we are going to number the chain from right hand side. In our naming, first part is prefix, but in this case since no substituent group is present, we are going to skip that part. So second part of the name is word root, and since there are 2 carbon atoms in this compound, the word root will be eth, ETH. After word root, next part is primary suffix. Since in this case there is presence of carbon-carbon single bond only, we are going to write down ane, that is ANE. Last part of the name is secondary suffix. Since in this case aldehyde functional group is present, we have to write down AL for that. Before writing the main name, we have to omit E part of ANE because the name of the functional group is starting with a vowel A. So IUPAC name of this compound will be ethanol, or writing the position of the functional group, it will be called as ethane 1-ul. Eth part is the word root, AN part is the primary suffix, and AL part is the secondary suffix. Our second compound is CH triple bond CH, that is C2H2. In this case, there is no substituent group and no functional group attached to the compound. So its name contains only two parts, that is word root and primary suffix. Since only two carbon atoms are present in the main chain, the word root will be eth. And because of the presence of triple bond between carbon atoms, primary suffix will be "-ine". So its IUPAC name will be ethine. So our third compound is CH2 double bond CH single bond CH3. So following the rules of IUPAC nomenclature, first of all we are going to select the main chain. In this case, the main chain is of 3 carbon atoms. Now numbering the chain, we have to start from left hand side, giving preference to the double bond. In this case also, there are no functional group or no substituent group present. That is why in this case, we are having only two parts, that is word root and primary suffix. Because of the presence of 3 carbon atoms in the main chain, the word root will be prop, P-R-O-P. And because of the presence of double bond in the compound, primary suffix will be ene, E-N-E. In this case, we are not going to omit the E part since there is no functional group present in this case. So writing its IUPAC name, the name will be prop 1-ene, mentioning the position of the double bond, or simply propene. It is not necessary to mention the first position of any part like double bond, triple bond, or substituent group or the functional group. You can simply write propene in this case. So our next compound is CH3COOH. In this case, there are no substituent groups, but functional group COOH, that is carboxylic acid group, is present. So first part of the name, that is prefix, it will be skipped. Second part of the name, that is word root, it will be eth because of 2 carbon atoms in the main chain. Now primary suffix, since there is presence of single bond between carbon and carbon, it will be ane. Now writing the functional group part, since carboxylic acid is present, the suffix used will be oic acid. In this case, since the name of the functional group is starting with the vowel O, we are going to skip E part of ANE of primary suffix. So its IUPAC name will be ethane 1-oic acid, mentioning the position of the functional group, or simply ethanoic acid. Now our next compound is HCHO. In this case, only one carbon atom is there and no prefix part. Since only one carbon atom is there, the word root will be meth, M-E-T-H. Since there is no presence of double or triple bond between carbon-carbon atoms, as only one carbon atom is present, its primary suffix is ane. Now, since the functional group is aldehyde, we have to write down Al for secondary suffix. And since the name of the functional group is starting with a vowel, we are going to omit E part of primary suffix. So its IUPAC name will be methanal, that is methanol. Now our sixth compound is CH3CH2CH2OH. We are going to make open structural formula of this compound. Now we can see that there is no substituent group present in this compound, so we are going to skip that first part. Since there are 3 carbon atoms in the main chain, the word root will be prop. Since there is presence of only single bond between carbon atoms, primary suffix will be "-ene". And the functional group present in this case is alcoholic functional group. That is why we are going to write down all for that. So its IUPAC name will be propane 1-ol or propanol. Our next compound is CH3CH double bond CH3. Now making open structural formula of this compound, we can see that there is no prefix part in this case. Now since 4 carbon atoms are present in the main chain, the word root will be bute. Now for primary suffix, since there is presence of double bond between C2 and C3 carbon atom, we have to write down ene, E-N-E. In this case, since double bond is not present on the first carbon atom, we have to mention the position also. As we can see that there is no secondary suffix part, then we are not going to omit E part of the primary suffix. Now writing its IUPAC name, it will be bute 2-ene. 2 is the lowest possible position of the double bond in this case. Now our next compound is CH3C triple bond CH. There is no prefix and suffix part in this case. So starting with the word root, because of 3 carbon atoms, word root will be prop. And for primary suffix, since there is presence of triple bond attached to the first carbon atom, it will be ine. So its IUPAC name will be prop 1-ine or propine. Our next compound is CH2Cl single bond CH2Cl. Now in this case, we can see that 2 chloro substituent groups are present in the compound. So first of all, we have to write down that prefix part and we have to mention the position of both the groups. So prefix will be chloro attached at first and second carbon atoms. Since 2 chloro groups are present, we have to write down 1,2 dichloro for this prefix part. Because of the presence of 2 carbon atoms in the main chain, word root will be eth. And since there is presence of only single bond between carbon-carbon atoms, so primary suffix will be ane. And since no secondary suffix is present, we have to write down complete ane part in this case. So its IUPAC name will be 1,2 dichloroethane or 1,2 dichloroethane. Our next compound is CH3 single bond C triple bond C single bond CH3. In this case, there is no prefix and secondary suffix part. So starting with the word root, because of 4 carbon atom, it will be bute. In this case, triple bond is present between C2 and C3 carbon atoms, so we have to write down ine as primary suffix. Since in this case, triple bond is not attached to the first carbon atom, we have to mention the position of the triple bond also. So its IUPAC name will be bute 2-ine. Our next compound is CH3 CH2 CHOH CH2 CH3. In this case, there is no substituent group attached, so prefix part is skipped. Since there are 5 carbon atoms in the main chain, word root will be pent. Because of the presence of single bond between carbon atoms, primary suffix will be ane. Since in this case OH, that is alcoholic functional group, is present, so we have to write down all for that. Now in this case, we can number the chain either from right hand side or from left hand side, because in both the cases we will get OH group attached to the third carbon atom. So its IUPAC name will be pentane 3-ol. 3 is the position of OH functional group in this case. Our next compound is CH3 CH CH3 attached to CH3 again. In this case, when we make the open structural formula and selecting the main chain, we can see that there are 3 carbon atoms in the main chain. Now, 1 carbon atoms along with 3 hydrogen atoms, that is CH3 part, it is not included in the main carbon chain. It means it is prefix or the alkyl substituent part. Now, this alkyl substituent part is present on the second carbon atom. This alkyl substituent part is named in the following way. Like if it is having 1 carbon atom, it is named as meth, and since it is alkyl part, we have to write down YL after that. So it will be methyl. Suppose if in case we are having 2 carbon atom substituent part, it will be named as eth, YL, that is ethyl. Now since in this case we are having only CH3 part attached on second carbon atom, its prefix part will be 2-methyl. Now, word root is according to the number of carbon atoms in the main chain. In this case, we are having 3 carbon atoms. That is why word root will be prop. Now, since there is presence of single bond between carbon atoms, primary suffix will be ane. And since there is no secondary suffix part, hence its IUPAC name will be 2-methyl propane. Now our next compound is CH3CH2CHO. Making its open structural formula, we can see that there is no prefix part in this case. And since there are 3 carbon atoms in the main chain, including the carbon atom of the functional group also, the word root will be prop. Now, since there is carbon-carbon single bond, that is why primary suffix will be ane. We have to see only carbon-carbon bonds, not carbon-oxygen bond. Now, since the functional group is aldehydic functional group, its secondary suffix will be -ul. So its IUPAC name will be propane 1-ul or propanol. Our next compound is CH2 double bond CH2, that is C2H4. In this case, there is neither prefix part nor secondary suffix part. So starting with the word root, because of presence of 2 carbon atoms in the main chain, word root will be eth. And since there is presence of double bond between carbon-carbon atoms, primary suffix will be ene. So its IUPAC name is ethene. So our last compound is HCOOH. In this case, since no substituent group is attached, there will be no prefix part. Now, since only 1 carbon atom is present, the word root will be meth. As only 1 carbon atom is present, there is no chance of double or triple bond between carbon atoms. That is why its primary suffix will be ane. Now, the functional group is carboxylic acid COOH group. That is why its secondary suffix will be oic acid. And since the name of the secondary suffix is starting with the vowel O, we have to omit E part of the primary suffix, and in place of ANE, we have to write down only AN. So its IUPAC name will be meth-ane oic acid, that is methanoic acid. Thank you for watching this video. Please like the video, share it and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.